Hey there, Intentional Man. Jonathan McGinley here. I'm excited to be with you. In this video, we're going to be talking about the quarterly review, the end of quarter review, and all the tools that go with this. So this is after you've done 12 weeks in the planner. You'll find this in here. It's a quarterly review where we reflect on the past 12 weeks, celebrate some wins, review things, areas of improvement, get us set up for the next 12-week goal period. So you're going to find this at the end. The first tool in here is the life review. So this is in the last 12 weeks, what were my biggest wins? Make sure you're actually acknowledging those and celebrating those. Sometimes it's so easy to be focused on constantly trying to improve or the areas that you fell short that we forget there was probably a lot of pretty big wins in the process. So acknowledge those, write those in the box. God moments. These are the cool things that God did in your life in the last 12 weeks. Maybe these were, times that you spent with him where he taught you something super important. Or maybe these were moments where you shared the gospel with somebody and they came to know the Lord, or you encouraged somebody. And just, those times where you're like, God was clearly working in these 12 weeks. It's so important to write these down, to remember them, to celebrate them, to praise God for them. So those are the God moments there. What did God teach you this quarter? This is a big one. You should have been filling out those weekly reviews where you're getting a lot of these things. Every week in the weekly review, you're answering this question: what did God teach me this week? So what I would do is go back to each of the weeks and read what you wrote for that, and you'll kind of see a theme emerge, I would bet, for the 12 weeks where you can write down what God was really teaching you this quarter. Then this is a big one, the habit review. So what are some healthy habits or practices you want to continue next quarter? This is important. You probably implemented some new habits this last quarter that you want to build on. You want to continue those things. Just because our goal next quarter may not be in the health world doesn't necessarily mean we want to stop all the healthy habits that we put in place. So you want to acknowledge the habits that you put in place and continue those. Then what are the healthy habits or practices you want to implement next quarter? As you're reviewing, you said, I could have been doing these things. If I consistently did this, this would have been better. This is where you're taking time to review those, acknowledging the ones that you want to implement next quarter, so you know exactly which habits to build on going forward. Then we got the Intentional Man Scorecard for the entire quarter. So if you're doing your weekly reviews, you should have your weekly scores. You're just going to fill these in here. So just writing down, your week 1, 2, 3, etc. scores for faith, mission, attitude, integrity, purity, stewardship. Write all those in, total them up down here. You can divide them by 100 to get the percentage to kind of see how it was. And then just, how did I grow as an Intentional Man quarter? Focus on the ways that you grew. Focus on the good things. Focus on the things that you did this quarter that really, were impactful for your life and the way that you want to live in terms of the man that you want to be and the impact that you want to have in the world. So this is cool. Just, again, we measure things just so they're in front of us, just so we acknowledge them, so we can get better at them, so we can reflect on them and see which ways, we're doing well and which ways we can do better. So that's why we do the scorecard. If your scores are low, don't beat yourself up. Use it as a launching point for the next quarter to just make some supplemental improvements. That's why we do this. Then there's a goal review sheet, and there's one for each of these goals. So you would have set 1 to 3 stretch goals at the beginning of the quarter. And so you're just writing down, this is the goal. Percentage of the goal complete. So if you hit it exactly, you're filling in the 100. If your goal was to lose 20 pounds and you lost 10 pounds, you're filling out 50% there. So this is kind of, you're just giving a quick percentage of the goal complete. Make sure you're acknowledging what you're most proud of. Honestly, sometimes if we don't fill out this 100, the tendency is to beat ourselves up. But if you did 70% of it, that's still 70% more than you would have done if you would have never set the goal. And that can be a huge win. So what are you most proud of? Make sure you acknowledge that. What did you learn? This is a big one. We need to evaluate our experience and take out the lessons. So what did you learn about yourself? What did you learn about your habits? What did you learn about your tendencies, your fears, your insecurities? What did you learn? And then how will you build on this? Either you can continue this goal into the next quarter. If you hit it, you can set another goal in this area that builds on it, that exceeds it, that expands it. Or maybe it's just, I'm going to keep these habits going and then I'm going to set stretch goals in other areas, and that's great. So that is all the tools in our quarterly review. This I would definitely highly encourage you to do. It'll really just put a bow on everything that you did in the past 12 weeks. And so I hope it's very helpful for you. Hope the entire planner has been helpful for you. Thank you for being here and being a part of this. Appreciate you. Now let's go get after it.